Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Good morning. And you know what? Good morning is the perfect way to describe it. What a night last night, man. I placed a couple stupid bets during the morning show. Did it without a coffee. Ended up betting the Pirates. Marcus Semien hits. I did hit a Francisco Lindor home run. But after the morning games, I was like, what was I doing? But I crushed it last night. I put out 5 bets, all plus money, and went 4-1. So feeling good right now. Feeling like $1 million plus 3-point-something unit night. Loving it. Toast and Commish will be on in a minute. How's everyone doing? Getting close to kickoff. We feeling it? Yeah, the morning shows are a lot easier to do when I've got my coffee in me. Feeling a little bit more ready. Jesse Winker is right, Caps. Jesse Winker. I love that acquisition at the deadline when we got him. We needed a lefty bat. He's always solid, consistent. I like it. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to be betting the Rockies with Corbin on the mound. I mean, there's so many people just auto-fade Corbin for good reason. That being said, this line's moving towards Washington. Definitely some sharp action coming in on the Nats. Pumped it up to -135. Yeah, football shows are going to be fun, man. Those morning shows on the weekends are it's a combination of everyone's excited for football to be on all day, but also it's like, I don't know. There's a ton of action to bet on, and everyone's just like in an awesome mood on those shows, the Saturday, Sunday mornings, because like it's just a different energy. Those morning shows are the freaking best. $11:00. Where is Toast and Commish? Sure they'll be on any minute. Commish is always like right at 11. And as I said that, someone just joined. Let's see who it is. Oh. It's not Commish, it's Toast. It's all right. It's 11:01. And I hear a monster cracking. Why didn't you load up in the stream there? Oh, it's because... After last night, I feel like you should call me the plus money bandit. Just sniping.
Your mic is either connected to something else or something. It's like off.
Oh no, hold on. They hear me fine. You hear me shitty. I can fix that.
Oh, if that's fine, then I don't really care. I was just letting it. Usually if it's weird on my end, it's weird on your end.
How's that sound? Is that better? Can you hear me? No, maybe I clicked the wrong one. Hello?
Yeah.
Does that sound better?
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, I had my mic turned on for the stream, but not to the guests. So you guys heard the shitty mic. All right, let's give Commish another minute or two. Man, not only am I coming off a good night, I have 5 bets open out of the 10 games today. I'm like loaded up on this Thursday. And actually, there's a 6th bet I like. The reason I didn't want to bet it, I was like, damn, I can't be just like throwing down 6 bets on a Thursday when my attention's like kind of on football. Like maybe if I'm fully in the MLB groove, I could throw down that many bets. But like when I'm kind of transitioning into football, I don't know if I should be throwing down that many bets.
Well, good luck on your transition. I wish you the best.
Thank you. You think we should start without Commish? 11:03, or should we give him another?
There he is.
Oh, there you go.
Bang, bang.
Commish is in the building. I think there's an unusual amount of good spots today for a Thursday, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I have 7. I have 7 open right now. So
yeah, I usually, I mean, if you go back to the last few Thursdays, I probably had like 2 bets open, 1 bet, 3 bets. I got 5, and there's a 6th I like.
I have one of them. Mine, San Diego, is split between run line and money line, but so 6 games, 7 bets. But yeah, same games.
All right, so Commish, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Busy morning, but
yeah, people in the Discord were waiting to talk to you about Marcus Semien this morning.
he stole a base. He stole a base. We played the total bases. It didn't work out, but he bounced back. He made an impact yesterday.
Yeah, he stole the base. All right, so let's go ahead and Rockies Nats, 10 games loaded up. Are we ready to go? Yeah. All right. Rockies Nats, polls already running. Obviously, Corby's on the mound. You know, a bunch of action's going to come in on the other side. That's just how it works in Corby land. Here's the thing when it comes to Patrick Corbin, and I say this a lot of people just blindly fade him, and I understand why. But then when it gets to a spot like this, where it's like, is Patrick Corbin at home even worse than Cal Quantrill on the road right now? Because I don't even know if that's the case. Patrick Corbin actually has, when I'm not saying good numbers at home, they're respectable. He's got like a 4.20 ERA or something. And also, Patrick Corbin against bad lineups, again, it's not that bad. It's like 4.20 ERA, 4.35 ERA. So as bad as Patrick Corbin is, and by no means am I trying to say like, oh, Patrick Corbin is a guy you could trust. They're at home against bad lineups. That's the spot you can start to look at Patrick Corbin, especially with Cal Quantrill on the other side, who's been getting lit up. So it would only be Nats for me here. I'm not betting Corbin at this price, but I think it's a Nats spot.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm debating if I understand. I don't really want to play on that. I agree with you with the Nats on that number, but again, like I talked about yesterday and the day before, the Nats don't play one-run games, really. And we saw it, again, both of these games in this series, 6-1, 3-1. They don't play a lot of two-run or one-run games. So if you played Washington, you could play Washington -1.5 at a +155, +160 price for a small bet. And I kind of like that because over the course of Patrick Corbin's career, he has been much better during the day. Obviously, it's Patrick Corbin, so take it with a grain of salt. But he does pitch better during the day. And he's had good home starts against Cincinnati. He went 7 innings against the Padres, only gave up 4 hits and 3 runs. Again, you can definitely find spots that Patrick Corbin looks terrible at home, on the road, in Mexico. It doesn't really matter. But again, my point being that Cal Quantrill, and well, Kyle's point as well, Cal Quantrill hasn't been doing much either. He's essentially giving you 4 or 5 innings of 3-run baseball every time he goes out there. And if there's anything like that, that's the case. I mean, I still think the Nats win this game by 1 or 2 or 3 runs. So it'd be Nats -1.5 at a big plus price or pass for me.
Commish, you're on Corbin today?
He loves it.
I could not hear what Toast said, so I don't know what happened there.
Basically he just agreed. Oh, you guys can't hear each other. One of you should leave and come back. Toast, leave and come back.
Yep.
But I agree with you. I think Patrick Corbin's not a very good pitcher, obviously. We all know that. People have been making money fading him for forever. But he's not as bad as I think this public fade train makes him out to be, especially on a day like today. The Rockies have been absolutely terrible against left-handed pitching as of late. You look at the last 30 days, they're 28th in OPS, 29th in WRC+, so WRC+ weights their home ballpark because obviously their numbers against everybody are going to be inflated when they play in altitude, so that normalizes those numbers. So really, they've been worse than every offense except for one against left-handed pitching the last month. It's been a theme across the season. They've struggled against everybody, but especially against lefties. Look, I hate the Nationals. You guys know how I feel about the Nationals. I'm not going to bet a game between my 2 least favorite franchises, but I mean, I think Washington wins today.
I agree. I'm not betting it either, though, full disclosure, but I agree that would only be why. I mean, and look at our poll. There's a ton of people just blindly fading Corbin and taking the Rockies. Price
really?
Yeah, and the price moved. It was -125 last night. I'm seeing -135s out there. Okay. So
yeah, I'm betting that, just so you guys know.
But also, there was movement towards a Nats bet game 1 of this series also, and they lost that. As you know, you played it.
I did.
There was the same sort of movement in that first game of the series as well, and the Rockies won. But whatever. I didn't bet this because I think there's better angles out there. and we'll get to them. Next game. Oh, man, I have it set up for 2 people. Hold on.
Can you hear me now, Commish?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened. I heard you
No,
when I first
it's
came
the-
on,
No,
and then-
it's the stream.
It's
the stream. It
OBS
happens all the
Ninja,
time.
yeah. I don't know what it is.
What happened with Skype? You guys didn't like Skype?
It started shorting out.
Oh.
It worked like 6 times, and then like we sounded like zombies on the stream. It was like it was messing up everything. So yeah,
That's not good.
Dude, that was like a perfect impression. Did you hear that?
I nailed it.
I actually thought you were
That was
cutting off the reel.
awesome.
That's exactly how it sounded. It sounded like we were robots.
That
And
was
I was pumped
crazy.
about Skype. I thought I figured out like, oh, this is the best way to have guests on. That didn't last long.
Have you tried StreamYard?
I think I should look into it. I don't know. I would have to use StreamYard just for the guests because in order to use all my graphics and stuff, I need OBS. So I could use StreamYard just for the guests, but I don't even know if it's really optimized to do that.
Gotcha. I was just curious. But we could talk Yankees.
We can talk Yankees. I on the show yesterday, I said over or pass. I didn't think the Yankees would be the only one to get it there. So that game did not go how I thought it would. I thought Cleveland would score runs, but I didn't bet that game.
To my credit, I did say that since I thought the Yankees offense was kind of slowing down, they'd score 10. They scored 8. Good for me. Just saying.
Sweet. So yeah, I placed, this is one of my smaller bets of the day. But I did place this. I've said this over and over again. You're probably tired of hearing me say it. Cleveland doesn't hit right-handed pitching. They're one of the worst lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching over the last 2 months. And what I keep saying is I think people have it in their brains the first 2 months of the season. We're like, oh, it's Cleveland. Their lineup's dope because they were hitting righties. But if you really think about it, we're now coming up on 2 months since Cleveland's been hitting right-handed pitching, where they've been one of the worst lineups in baseball against righties. And keep in mind, this is a Cleveland Guardians lineup that was one of the worst lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching last year. So it's starting to...
And the year before.
And the year before, right. And the year before. In fact, I remember on your guys' podcast, Plate Coverage, talking about how the Cleveland outfielders, there wasn't an outfielder that had 20 home runs in like 10 years or something.
Yep.
I remember that episode. But yeah, so I think it's looking like the first 2 months of this season, those were the outliers because last 2 years and the last 2 months, Cleveland's not getting to righties. And we're not just talking about any righty. We're talking about Garrett Cole at home in Yankee Stadium. Now, I mean, at home in Yankee Stadium doesn't mean much because teams usually score runs here, but I trust Garrett Cole to throw a gem. Also, Gavin Williams, I'm not the biggest fan of him. Some people are big on him, but Soto's hot. Judge is hot. I mean, I got this at plus 128. Again, one of my smaller bets.
I'll just go because I have the same exact bet. There's not a lot of times you see me betting the Yankees, but if there's one time I bet the Yankees, and it's done multiple times if you watch the show, is when Garrett Cole pitches. So he's one guy that I trust on the Yankees staff. Yeah, I still feel the same way about their offense. It's an absolute joke. The defense is a joke, but yeah, I'm sorry. But Yankees minus 1.5 at a big plus price. I think Cole shoves here today.
Commish, are you with us?
Yeah, Cole's been pretty good since the All-Star break. Look, I faded Cleveland to my detriment the whole first half of the season because I was stubborn and I knew this team was going to regress. And here it is. The first half of the season, they had one of the softest schedules in baseball. We talked about it preseason. 42 of their first 63 games this year were against teams that finished last year below 500. So credit to them, they took care of business against a weak schedule. But now they're playing some more big boy teams, I guess you could call them. And they're struggling. The offense that started hot, now you see there's no reliable impact bats in this lineup behind J-Ram, so you don't have to pitch to J-Ram, right? So J-Ram has regressed a little bit. There's a lot of ways for the Yankees to win a game like this. The Guardians, I'm to the point where I only live bet the Guardians. Like I live bet them, I think it was 2 nights ago when it was 3-3 in the seventh inning.
Me too.
Like that's the spot to jump in on the Guardians because if you know you're going to get Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, Clase, if you're going to get that battery coming into the game, then okay, like I'll take Cleveland at plus odds in the late innings if it's a tie game or if they're in like a must-win type of situation. But I'm not betting the Guardians pregame live. This is also a really interesting lineup for the Yankees. They don't jump out as a high-contact type of lineup. But if you look at these guys, other than Ben Rice today, if you look at their lineup, the first 8 guys in this lineup today all have a strikeout percentage lower than the league average since the beginning of July. Even guys like Stanton, Judge, Volpe, who's had strikeout issues at times, all of these guys have been making a lot of contact. So hitter-friendly weather today, winds blowing out to right field at Yankee Stadium. It's not super warm, but I think the Yankees are going to be able to score some runs today. I mean, the price isn't great on the under 5.5 strikeouts for Gavin Williams, but I like that too. I like that as well.
Mark my words.
Under strikeouts, what was you said two bets. Under strikeouts for Gavin Williams, and what was the other one?
That's the only one I've bet so far. I think the Yankees win this game. I haven't bet that yet.
Got it. Gavin Williams under 5.5 Ks. There we go.
If the Yankees bats don't show up today, I'm going to lose my mind.
He's going to lose his mind.
It's just they make so many stupid mistakes. Like that game against Cleveland. I mean, I don't know if did you see that, Commish, when they had Volpe, or when they had runners on, not Volpe, but they had runners on the corners. They don't hold on Quan, and then so they don't walk J-Ram, and then J-Ram hits a single, makes it 5-3 in the bottom of the 12th. Like, it's just absolutely a joke. There's one guy on Cleveland that you don't let beat you, and Aaron Boone's like, you know what? Let's just let J-Ram bat with the runners on the corners. Like, I hate this team so much, but I really like Garrett Cole. Next game.
Brewers Cardinals. This was a freaking game. If you missed it, Cardinals hit a walk-off grand slam in this one. I had no action on it, but it was interesting to see.
And it was 6-6 before that. Like, it was back and forth. St. Louis scored 2. Milwaukee scored 2. Then Milwaukee scored 2 more. St. Louis, I mean, it was really literally back and forth the whole game from the fourth inning on. So entertaining to say the least.
So as far as this game today, it was a crazy game. As far as this game today, this isn't one of the bets I have open. If I was to bet it, I'd be tailing the Discord voice chat. There was somebody in there that's big on the over here, and it makes sense. Problem is, it's bad weather for scoring runs. So it's kind of a weather versus the situation. I mean, on paper, I think Steady Freddy's about to get sparked. Miles, Mids, Michaelis against the Brewers lineup that's been hitting on the road. They've been hitting right-handed pitching. H just too low. But if you're somebody that gets scared off on the weather, this would be one to stay off. And I didn't bet this, but on paper, 8 is too low. I would actually like to hear your guys' thoughts on the weather. Do you think the weather should hold you back from betting this over?
I don't know. I'd like to. It's really hard to say because I don't know. I guess it must be affecting it because if you think that if you think that the Cardinals are going to get to Freddie Peralta, which it is not crazy to think the way he's been up and down this year. I mean, Miles Michaelis has had a lot of struggle with this Brewers team in St. Louis as well. So, that total kind of at 8 just kind of throws me a little bit. I mean, it's not like crazy weather. I mean, it's less than 10-mile-an-hour winds. It's blowing in. It's still 80 degrees there. So, this is just a really hard game. I honestly feel like this is the same type of situation as last night. It's more of a coin flip than anything. I will give you that St. Louis has some issues the Brewers have some issues in the bullpen, but
St. Louis does too. High pitch counts yesterday.
So
and then flipping it back for a day game like that could be problematic.
You guys want yourself? So our poll viewers, 82%, 12% Brewers.
Oh my God!
Well, because Miles Michaelis is turned into another Patrick Corbin type of guy. Like everybody wants to fade Miles Michaelis every time he goes out there. And truthfully, like Miles Michaelis is a high contact pitcher. He's never going to strike out 25% of the guys he faces. So he's going to have some period, like he's in a really rough stretch since the All-Star break. He's been getting BABIP to death. But the guy hasn't been getting hit overly hard. His hard hit rates, his barrel rates are both better than the league average in that stretch. He gets a fair number of ground balls. Milwaukee, roughly league average offense the last couple of weeks against right-handed pitching. The weather you mentioned, Kyle. I wouldn't be surprised if Miles Michaelis has a halfway decent game here. I'm not particularly interested in betting a side either way because both bullpens not in great shape. I think the offenses are comparable as of late, and I just don't like the weather. I think when you have a game where weather's going to make this big of an impact, I think it's tougher to bet sides. But I wouldn't just blindly fade Michaelis in this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to give it about 40 minutes ish to see if I can get like better than plus 110 on the Cardinals, but I'm going to be betting this Cardinals team. Just really quickly, those bullpen situation. For me personally, I'm not worried about the Cardinals bullpen. Everybody that worked, they did work a lot yesterday, but they also had the previous 2 days off. Milwaukee, Devin Williams, back-to-back days. Trevor McGill, 13 pitches yesterday, 2 days coming off the IL. Piamps went 24. Hudson went yesterday. Joe Ross went yesterday. Cards.
I think I would go the same way. If I was betting a side, I would bet the Cardinals. I just always worry about when relief pitchers throw 25 plus pitches and then they have to turn around for a day game after a night game. That always worries me. But like you said, it's not like Milwaukee has an advantage in the late innings. They're not going to have probably 3 of their 4 best relievers probably be unavailable today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I'd go over a pass, but I didn't bet this one. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Tigers, Cubs. This is the one. So I have 5 bets open. Like I said, this would have been the 6th. This price is crazy. I don't care who's pitching for the Tigers. They're playing better baseball right now. Minus 200 for the Cubs is criminal. Yep. It's criminal.
I'm pissed off that I didn't play Detroit yesterday. This was a cut and paste from yesterday. Is Justin Steele very good? Yes. But at the same time, the price for this is just absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievable.
Minus 200 for the Cubs. It's truly criminal. So yeah, I'll put Tigers up. This is probably the bet. If I was, this is not one of my 5 bets, but if I was to place a 6th bet, it would probably just be throw a few dollars on Tigers money line at the crazy price.
And just really, I mean, I feel the exact same way. And just to go off of that, this again, I keep on trying to make a case that like the Tigers are playing good baseball right now. They're playing 7-3 their last 10 with wins over. They swept Seattle. They had a couple of wins over New York. Obviously, they won last night here as well. So the Tigers are playing really good baseball. They got Riley Green back, who hit a home run last night. So again, and you look at the Cubs, who are 5-5 their last 10, and what they do, they beat Detroit. Okay, cool. They beat Toronto. Whoop did he do? And then they beat the White Sox. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? So, yeah, I think that Chicago is beat up on some really bad teams to make their record look a little bit better than it is. So, yeah, it'd be Detroit or pass for me.
You didn't bet it though, right?
No, I don't know who's pitching for Detroit.
It's Herder, I think. Herder.
So
he hasn't been terrible, that guy Herder.
No, he hasn't been terrible.
Commish, Cubs at minus 200. You want it?
No. If you were giving me a pick'em sheet to fill out who's going to win today, I think the Cubs. I would pick the Cubs, but not at this price. I agree with everything Toast was saying. I think Riley Green coming back changes this lineup significantly. It's hard to overlook how bad Detroit's been against left-handed pitching, and I know Riley Green just got back, so like some of that is not 100% true, but it's not like Detroit was raking against left-handed pitching even when they had Riley Green earlier in the season. So it's not a great spot for me. I've seen a couple people that I respect on Justin Steele over outs today. It's not great weather and Wrigley, winds blowing across the field, so I could see this being a relatively low-scoring affair. I think under 8 is a playable number. I think maybe the first 5 if you want to isolate the Tigers' bats against left-handed pitching. I just don't know who's pitching for Detroit. Like I don't know what that is going to look like, so I haven't bet anything here because I have no clarity.
I have a question. What happened with? Does anybody know what happened? I'm dead serious. That's not a joke. What happened with Steele's last start where he only went 2 innings? Was it hurt? Was it weather? I really don't know. Does anybody know?
Why can't I remember that?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even like have a recall of that in my head. That's why I asked.
Why
2 innings? Let me just type in Steele
against the Cubs, or I'm sorry, against the Blue Jays. Against the Cubs.
Oh, was that a weather game?
Like I can't figure it out. They ended up finishing the game. Like I don't understand what I'm missing. Like I can't figure it out. Real quick.
The game was delayed twice in the second inning for 39
there
and 60, 39 minutes. 39 minutes and 16 minutes. So it was weather.
Okay. That out that may play makes sense then because he's coming off. Yeah.
Andy, can you go to EV Analytics and look up the profit rate for the Cubs on unders at Wrigley? So just go to home and then over under for there, because I feel like the under has been really profitable in Wrigley. I know there was one point where it hit like 10 in a row.
So Wrigley, there was a really interesting study done on this in the Hardball Times a few years ago. The wind plays such a significant impact at Wrigley Field because it's one of those older stadiums. They don't have the massive bleachers. They don't have a lot of things to break the wind. So when it's really windy at Wrigley, the ball can literally get knocked down 30, 40 feet. And that's not an exaggeration. If you watch the Cubs broadcast, they'll show the weather metrics that they have based on the wind. And like if the wind's blowing in from left or from center field, it'll literally knock the ball down 30 or 40 feet. There was a study, it's like a 15% difference in home run rate when the wind's blowing in versus when the wind's blowing out. It's astronomical what the wind does there. The wind's not blowing straight in today, so it's not a true like Wrigley under weather system. But when the wind's blowing in, even when the number's at 5, 6, or not 5, but like if it's at 6.5 or 7, these games routinely go under. They can't set the price low enough when the wind is blowing in.
So under, well, the lean towards you. I don't know if anyone actually has a bet on this one, but the point I was making is whenever there's a game in Wrigley, I would lean under before it starts because it just always seems to hit in that ballpark. Let's go to the next one. Rays, Oakland. The Rays have now taken 2 in a row, Toast. Were you wrong about the Rays being dead?
No. It's Oakland.
Oh, okay. So the Oakland Athletics also dead.
Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing here? For me.
Hold on. OBS just froze for a second. Let it come back.
Yeah, I'll talk slow, but I mean, it's pretty simple. Oakland versus left-handed pitching. So,
well, let it come back for a second. We're back. I don't know why it just glitched out for a second. So you said Oakland. What'd you say?
Oh, yeah, that's weird because on mine now mine's doing the glitch. Okay, left-handed. It's Oakland versus a lefty. So if you guys can't hear me, let me know. But yeah, it's an Oakland versus a lefty. Has Springs been pretty decent? His 4 or 5 starts that he's pitched? Yeah, and actually against pretty decent competition. But I will say that Arizona versus lefties is not a team that it scares me not nearly as much as versus righties, especially nowadays. And Baltimore, a team that we know that isn't really hitting the ball well right now either. So has Springs pitched well? Yes. But now he's facing a Oakland team that I will give you that hasn't looked great the last couple nights. But at the same time, when they face left-handed starters, it's a completely different situation. So, I mean, I can go through it really quickly. The left-handed starters for Oakland, I mean, who they face. I mean, they only got 1 off of Blake Snell, but they got 4 off of Quintana, 4 off of Robbie Ray, 4 off of Tyler Anderson, 4 off of Ranger Suarez, 5 off of Cole Irvin. David Peterson did pitch well against them as well. So, again, they've seen this Rays lineup. They've seen this Rays bullpen now the last couple of days. They're seeing a left-handed starter on the mound. Team total over 3.5 for me at Oakland. Also, Oakland versus bullpens at home is one of the top 3 teams in Major League Baseball. So, I'll take my chance with Oakland scoring some runs today at home.
This is a straight pass for me. Like Toast said, both teams dead. I know people in the Discord are on the under. Shriek, who's been hitting recently, he likes the under here at 7.5.
Yeah, that would make sense too, because if you guys, I'm sure not a lot of people watch Oakland A's baseball, but I am a West Coast guy. Osvaldo Bido has been absolutely phenomenal for them. I mean, he had a bad start against the Angels, I want to say, and maybe one other thing besides that. But besides that, he's been absolutely dominating, especially the last couple of weeks. My only issue with him is he hasn't given up a run in like 2 or 3 starts. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but I know it's been a while. And so sometimes for me in my head, it's like I feel like I say this a lot, but that dam's going to break sooner or later, and I just don't want to deal with it. So, Oakland team total over 3.5.
Under a pass for me. Commish?
Yeah, just to support what Toast was saying about Oakland against lefties, they didn't get to Blake Snell the other day. Blake Snell was relentless, pounded the zone, pitched the ball.
Nobody's touching Blake Snell right now.
The last 30 days, and they're not facing Blake Snell today, by the way. It's Jeffrey Springs.
Oh, that's always a good thing too. Yeah.
But Oakland, the last 30 days, if you just isolate their numbers against lefties to the first 5 innings, 3rd in OPS, 3rd in WRC plus. So they're having some really good at bats, doing some damage. They've cooled off a little bit, but again, some of that is they faced a couple of halfway decent lefties, and Blake Snell's obviously been a little bit better than halfway decent as of late. I like the offense. I picked up Bido in my fantasy league a few weeks ago, and he's been fantastic since he's been in rotation.
Yeah.
But like you said, back-to-back scoreless outings of 6 innings. Even more concerning to me, just from a regression to the mean standpoint, only 1 hit allowed against San Francisco, only 2 hits allowed against Toronto. So he's been almost damn near perfect back-to-back starts. Mm-hmm. That's even Jacob deGrom, right? deGroms, the Blake Snells, the Dylan Cease. Like, it's tough to be that good 3, 4, 5 starts in a row. I think you can see a little bit of regression from him today, but still pitch well. But I'm with you on Oakland's bats. I think 1.5 team total for the first 5 and 3.5 full game. I think both of those are playable numbers.
What's the price on that first 5 team total? Because B Felly said that in the comments too.
Minus 110.
Minus 120 or minus 110. Sorry.
Yep.
First 5 over 1.5.
It was minus 125 last night, but DK popped it up at minus 110.
Yeah, bloop and a blast.
Just to get bloop and a blast off Springs.
Because the only reason I know that because I literally looked at, I was gonna play both, and then I was like, you know what? I'm getting plus money at 3.5. I'm just gonna play the 3.5.
Yeah, so this is a
I can
pass
see
for
this
me.
game going over in the first 5. I'm not gonna lie, because if Vito has any regression in the first, I saw somebody ask in the comments.
So I was just about to ask you that, because at 3.5, you might pay 130, but I'm probably gonna get involved with that a little bit. So just for the record.
Yeah, and even if you want to take a flat 4, because then you push on 4, so you really like it's only upside if you want to take the better price at that point, because you would lose on 3 regardless. If you want to take the over 4, bet 365. If people can play MGM, Caesars, they have a flat 4 available at even money. I think if Vito gives up 1 or 2, and then Springs has thrown the ball relatively well the last couple of starts, but I just don't think Springs is all the way back. If you watch him,
No, he's not even close. He's not even close to the guy that we used to know and love.
Because I was the OG Jeffrey Springs guy. I bet that guy every 5 days that year that he broke. I think it was 2 years ago he broke out.
Jeffrey Springs.
2022, dude. 2022,
Yeah,
dude had like a 2.4 ERA. Yeah, dude, he was awesome.
He was filthy, but I'm not jumping on Jeffrey Springs here. I think he could get hit around a little bit. I think Vito could get hit around a little. I hope not. He's on my fantasy team, like I said, but I could see him getting hit around a little bit as well. I think over 3.5 first 5, because both of those guys could still have a quality start and the over go
over. Yeah,
the first 5 go over.
Yeah, it's Helm said B Felly's been on fire lately. That's the guy who put the first 5 team total in the comments. It's my only loss in the league this week. I lost by 0.02 units to B Felly on Tuesday. My only loss this week. Having a good one.
We're good now. It's okay.
No, it was some bullshit. He had Boston and got like a good price on it. Beat me.
Oh, that's gotta be irritating.
That's how I lost, was the freaking price he got. He got plus 106, and my bet that I won was plus 104. We both got cooked on the price. All right. Reds, Pirates. It's all right. I'm still in the running this week.
People say that line shopping doesn't matter. Look at Kyle taking L's.
It was just bad luck. Bad luck. Speaking of bad luck, your boy's on the mound, Toast. Rookie of the year sensation, Paul Skeens takes them out. Second place. Look, this start, one thing's indicative. The Paul Skeens on the mound. Give him the rookie of the year now. Probably should be in the Cy Young conversation.
Hey, you know what? There's a really you can get Paul Skeens to win the National League Rookie of the Year at minus 110 right now on most books. Go get it.
It's minus 110.
Run it in there and get that bet in there, guys.
What's Merrill's odds?
Minus 120. Biatch.
He's a favorite now?
Oh no!
You got it at plus 8,500?
Yes.
Toast, did you notice the last couple of days the way the Pittsburgh media has been talking about Paul Skeens like today's a funeral?
Oh, I know.
Why?
And well, keep in mind, because I was on this show yesterday.
Wait, hold on. I want to know what he said. What does that mean? What did you just say?
There's just been some cryptic headlines of like Paul Skeens looking to finish the season strong. Paul Skeens like looking to,
Did they announce it's his last start of the year?
I don't know if today's going to be his last start, but it just doesn't. You don't see beat writers talking like that if you. Like there's a month
No, I
over
agree.
into the season. We're not even to September yet.
So I was thinking. Oh, and by the way, I'm on the Reds money line. I got it at plus 130. And look, there's a couple things that go into this. I mean, we've been saying this for a while. I mean, the Pirates just 2-3 in Paul Skeens' last 5 starts. He also hasn't been quite that untouchable. Skeens is the man. Nothing negative to say about him. He's one of the most talented pitchers in baseball, if not the most right now. But the Pirates don't score runs. And I don't know how many times we have to have the same conversation. The Pirates don't score runs. And it doesn't matter if Skeens is going to give you 6 shutout innings. The score might be 0-0. But the truth is, Paul Skeens hasn't been untouchable. I mean, he's given up 2 runs, 3 runs, 1 run, 2 runs. I mean, it's not a month and a half ago where this dude is just giving you 6-7 shutout innings every time. He's getting touched up. And then you throw on top of it, Look, what Commish was just saying. I mean, there was talk that maybe they were shutting him down yesterday. How many innings is he going to go? Like, are they going to you got to think based on the situation and what's going on, they're not going to push Skeens into the 8th inning, maybe not even the 7th inning. Earlier in the season, he was throwing 7-8 innings, but the last couple starts, he only threw 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at plus 130, I mean, I didn't go all in on the Reds or anything like that, but it was a must play for me.
Yeah, you already know where it is for me. Not to mention the fact that Paul Skeens hasn't looked great in his last 5 starts. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that before I get killed. He hasn't been as dominant over his last 5 starts as he was to begin the year. Not to mention the fact that I'm pretty sure the Pirates are 2-3 his last 5 starts. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure they're 2-3 his last 5 starts. And there's another thing that's starting to kind of bother me a little bit with Paul Skeens, and I might get killed for this one, but does Paul Skeens have a little bit of a control issue? He's starting to walk a lot of guys, and for somebody that's so goddamn good, he sure walks a lot of guys. So not to mention the fact that I also don't really like him at home as much as I like him on the road. I think he's been way more dominant on the road than he has been at home. I mean, we saw Seattle score 2 off of him. If Seattle couldn't score 2 off of him, I mean, I think that anybody could score runs against Paul Skeens. So that's just a personal opinion.
Hey, you're talking about the team that came through for me yesterday.
And me too. I'm just letting you know that team can't hit to save their life. So if you put up 2 runs on Paul Skeens, who, I mean, is the best pitcher in the world for some people, I mean, that's some pretty impressive stuff to me. So Nick Lodolo coming off an absolute debauchery of a start against the Kansas City Royals, but what gives me a little bit confidence of that, 2 things. One, he's pitched against this Pittsburgh team 3 times in the last couple of years, and he's pitched really good against them. And also the last time that he got sparked up against the Cubs, he came back and pitched 6 innings, a 2-run ball against Miami. So Lodolo has done a good job of bouncing back. Not to mention the fact, last but not least, Jesus, it's 7:35 in the morning. I don't like the spot for Pittsburgh. They just got done playing a decent series against Texas on the road. Before that, keep in mind that they went from San Diego home, they went back out to Texas, and now they're back home again. I really just don't like the spot for Pittsburgh in general. So all that said, Cincinnati money line plus 130.
B-Felly's on the first 5 over 3.5 here. That's cool too. Commish, are you on the Skeens train?
No, I'm with you guys 100%. I think if there's any concern here for the Reds, it's the fact that they're coming out of Toronto. I don't know what the custom situation looks like for sure for these major league teams. I just know at times it seems like teams going into Toronto, coming out of Toronto, having to go into another country. It seems like sometimes there's a little bit of I
just need to know if they got their bats through customs, and if so, we're good.
but the reason I like Cincinnati today, and the reason I'm with you guys, is if you look at Paul Skeens, his first 10 starts averaged over 99 miles an hour in his fastball. His last 6 starts, which now includes an all-star, and not including the All-Star game, but you look at the All-Star game, 98 miles an hour his last 6 starts. So velocity is way down. His spin rates have been way down as well. So typically when you see stuff like that, it's a sign of fatigue or a guy just in some capacity not being 100% healthy. So whether he's hurt or fatigued or whatever the issue is, but it's been down. I love the quote that you have up here from Charles about the command issue. But it's worth noting.
Am I wrong?
It's worth noting his walk rate is pretty much doubled when you look at his velocity. And I see people all the time talking about velocity. It's like, oh, like guys don't, like they have no command anymore. They just try to throw as hard as they can. The reason velocity plays so well at the MLB level and really anywhere is it helps you cut down walks as well. If you can throw velocity in the zone, and 1 or 2 miles an hour makes a tremendous difference, especially at the highest levels of professional baseball like this. So when you lose 1.5 miles, 2 miles an hour off your fastball, that means more foul balls. It doesn't play the same up in the zone. You can put more wood on it. His strikeout rate is down about 5% in this stretch. Walk rate, again, almost doubled. ERA and FIP both up as well. So he's been more hittable. He hasn't been, Paul Skeens of May, June, where he came out and it was pretty much 6 innings, no earned, 1 earned every time he stepped on the bump. I could see Cincinnati getting to him a little bit here. I'm not expecting Paul Skeens to give up 7 runs, but I'm not sold on Pittsburgh in any way here. I think the play is Cincinnati if you're playing here.
Yeah, this is the full disclosure. This and the Yankees are my 2 smallest bets. So by no means am I like all in on the Reds, nothing like that. But I got it at plus 130, and even at plus 121, you got to say that's the side where the value's at. I mean, even with Skeens on the mound, there's no way you should be laying minus 150 with the Pirates. They don't score runs. If Skeens could throw a gem 0-0 in the 8th, it does, they just don't score.
Yeah.
And
It's worth noting too, the Reds team total right now is at 3.5 plus money. So you could get the team total, or you could get their money line at plus odds right now.
Let's go on to the next one. Angels, Blue Jays.
Oh my God! I didn't even say the best part. Pittsburgh, Bednar and Chapman back-to-back days as well. Sorry, that's like one of the biggest parts.
Yeah, how are you going to leave that out?
I don't know.
What an asshole. I just want to give a special shout out to the Angels, and I want to say, Johnny Cueto, I missed you, man. I missed you, brother. Come back anytime. Your money's always good here. The automatic fade of Johnny Cueto has, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving, and I really hope he pitches until he's 75. So, Angels on the road in Toronto. Griffin Canning, the can man.
I honestly, can I just really quickly, can you believe we got plus 120 on that shit last night? Like,
dude, he actually pitched okay, and it still was a no sweat cash.
I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to. I just wanted to let you have your moment.
It actually was the perfect scenario because we got our cash, and he pitched well enough to get another start. It's like,
I was just gonna say that.
Perfect.
Sounds like he's gonna come back out there. He got a standing ovation from the Kansas City crowd. A standing ovation.
Raise your goddamn standards, Kansas City. Raise your standard. You guys have Patrick Mahomes. You're giving Johnny Cueto a standing up.
I had to literally rewind my TV because I thought I was missing. I thought they were.
There's no way. They actually gave him a standing out.
I swear to God, I thought they were bringing out like a Make-A-Wish.
He had like a 170 whip in the game.
Nope. He walked out.
Oh my God, give him another start.
I swear to God, look it up when you get out. Look it up. I swear to God, it was a standing ovation.
Give him another start, please. Please. So wait. Griffin Canning against the Blue Jays. Isn't Griffin Canning actually decent against righty bats, right? It's lefties that, bro, is this a look, Griffin Canning, not by no means a reliable pitcher, but there are spots you can make money with him. Do you think he deals?
I don't know how you not play an over in this game. I feel stupid. I said yesterday that that Reds and Toronto game was going to go over, and that whole series was going to go over, and it did. All 3 games, and it wasn't even close. I just don't know how you slow down the Toronto offense right now. Like, I know that sounds stupid because they're barely winning games half the time because their pitching is freaking terrible, but offensively, this team is just absolutely doing work, especially the last 2.5 weeks or so. So I'm just not in a spot. I mean, I have to for me, like right now, for whatever reason, Toronto's just playing out of their mind, especially offensively. So I need a really good reason to fade this team, or at least a good pitcher on the mound with bats that I know that are going to work. So a lot of too many unknowns in this one for me. I wouldn't mind an Angels. I wouldn't mind an over. But again, I don't have a lot on this one.
This isn't one of my bets. I have bets on the next few. The last 3 games, I have bets on all 3. I guess. No, I'm not even going to say it. It'll just be pass for me.
I think it's a stretch to say Griff Canning's good against righties. FIP almost 5 against righties, sub 20K rate. So I wouldn't go as far as say Griff Canning's good against righties.
The can man is
okay, but you compare that to the 380 Woba versus lefties, the 530 XF against lefties.
Relatively speaking, he's better against righties than lefties,
exactly.
but also relatively speaking, he's worse against righties than the league average.
Right, but he's priced as shit. So if he's less smelly shit against righties, that could be some value.
Yeah, I'm with Toast, man. The Blue Jays offense has been absolutely hitting the piss out of the baseball. Second in OPS, second in WRC plus against right-handed pitching the last 14 days. Griff Canning doesn't seem like the guy that's going to come in and stop the bleeding here. But for what it's worth, Toronto. So I didn't play Toronto on the read, so I started tracking taxed bullpens as like a system thing. Like I go in and it's still in its infancy. I literally just started doing it this past week. But when teams have what I consider to be a taxed bullpen, so you see relievers that are going to be used for the 3rd time in 4 days or 4th time in 5 days, those high leverage guys, or there's situations where high pitch counts the day before. So like Toronto yesterday threw Pop 30, Swanson 29, Little through 19, and then Chad Green and Cabrera both threw. You look at Tanner, no,
They wanted,
he
just
did
for the
get
record, though,
some
they
time, 4
wanted
days.
Cabrera and Trad Green in the game because they were tired of. They didn't want him. They said that before the game that they were probably going to pitch no matter what. And like
Right,
Chad Green came in when it was like, I don't even know. Like,
Yeah, and he only threw 12 pitches, but he's going to be throwing back-to-back days. The rest of that bullpen will be throwing back-to-back days or third time in 4 days. So when teams have met criteria to be a taxed bullpen, they're only 5-9 straight up since I started tracking this. And like yesterday, San Francisco had taxed bullpen. They lost. They were what, like minus 250, minus 260 on the money line. Because we're on the show, and I remember I said like, I don't know what the case is for San Francisco. Looked into that a little bit more after Toast's comments. I was like, ooh, like maybe a stay away spot, and it panned out. So Toronto meets that for me today. But the bats are just so hot. I mean, it's 1 through 9 that these guys have been absolutely demolishing the baseball, and the Angels. I think the Angels have a narrow path to victory. Like I think they have a lot of things that need to go right for them to win.
So you would lean towards Toronto?
I would probably lean towards Toronto, but in the first 5.
Oh, Toronto first 5. Okay. Let me put that up on the screen. All right, Toronto first 5.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I don't know what that guy sucks. He's always saying bullshit. Probably just gonna mute him. Yeah, your audio's clean as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, Toronto first 5 money line. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hear what people are saying in the comments. They're like, how do you not look the Angels at plus money? But to be honest, I didn't even realize. I guess I've just been passing on Toronto games. I didn't even realize that the Blue Jays bats have gotten hot like that. So now that I think of it, I haven't bet a Blue Jays game in a while. So maybe I've been passing the Blue Jays for a while that I didn't notice. If Toronto's bats are hot and you got the Angels flying in from Kansas City, yeah, I don't like that at all. This is just a pass for me.
I mean, keep in mind, guys. I mean, the Angels looked like. They've looked pretty bad the last couple of weeks. I mean, they had that one decent game in Kansas City, I think, that people are remembering. But besides that, it's been a whole bunch of L's. So, again, it's just really hard to trust this Angels team right now.
All right, let's move on to. There's 3 games left. I got bets on all 3, and I think I'm on the right side of all 3 of them. Honestly, I don't know why I like my bets so much today. Probably means I'm going to get smoked. But let's get to the last 3 games, and I think these would be my favorite 3 bets all in a row. All right. First up, Phillies. Shout out Phillies. Shout out Philadelphia. Shout out City of Brotherly Love. Coming through yesterday. Didn't give me my minus 1.5, but came through on the money line.
At least you got to win. I took an L.
Well, you're not a sharp. Plain and simple. I feel like I may have deserved my minus 1.5 because Bryce Harper hit one to the track. Agree to disagree.
Okay.
So, you know what? Say what you want about that yesterday's game, Phillies Braves. That was a great baseball game. Fun to watch the whole time. Those low scoring games. Yeah, they don't look great on the box score, but it was fun to watch, man. And this is a huge series. The Phillies haven't been playing their best baseball. The Braves are chasing them for the division. Braves also fighting to hold on to that last wild card spot. Grimace is in the rear view. So this should be an awesome game. And I feel I'm on the right side. I have a full unit on the Braves. I got it at minus 110. Someone in the Discord called him a Schwellen goat last night. Like Schwelly a lot, man. He didn't really come through for me last time, but it wasn't really his fault that I lost the bet. It was more the Braves bats. They kept in that Angels game that I lost. Oh my God, I was so pissed off at that game. But in that Angels game that I lost, the Braves must have left 14 guys on base in that game. It was disgusting. But it certainly wasn't Schwellenbach's fault. This guy's been a beast, and Phillies bats haven't been quite the same, but it's not so much that I think, oh, Schwellenbach's going to deal. Bro, Christopher Sanchez on the road is a nightmare. His last few road starts have been terrible, and the Braves, say what you want about their bats. What have the Braves been doing against lefties? Smoking them. Phillies used their main bullpen arms last night. This is a Braves spot. Plain and simple, period, exclamation point. Braves up.
Let me see if this number is.
Braves money line.
Okay, good, cool.
I'm on the Braves.
I played first 5 under. I completely disagree with Christopher Sanchez on the road. I think that he faced had one bad start in Arizona. I mean, he went to Dodger Stadium before that. I mean, I was there. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, and 1 run. That's pretty damn decent. I mean, on the road in Pittsburgh, 5 2/3, 2 runs. He's faced this Atlanta team.
Hold on. Pittsburgh got to him, though.
Pittsburgh had 8 hits.
Yeah, then the Cubs smoked him before that. He had 1 good road start in the last 2 months. Guy sucks.
Yeah, you know who else sucks? The freaking Braves and the Bats.
Schvelli.
So
yeah,
I'm backing Schvelli too. I don't think there's going to be runs here today. I really don't. I think both pitchers pitch well here today. We've seen this is a playoff-like atmosphere, and the Braves are winning games, but they're winning games by their pitching. They're not winning games with their bats. I mean, 2, 3, 3, 11, 2, 0, 13, 4, 1, 8, their last 10 games. I mean, the Braves are 6-4 their last 10, and the games that they've won, I mean, they have only put up more than 4 runs once in the games that they've won. So they're winning by their pitching. I expect Strellenbach to pitch very well as well. And I expect Christopher Sanchez to pitch well enough to stay under this 4.5 in the first 5, excuse me. So I'm not like a Phillies lover. I do like this team, and I do think that they're better than what they've shown over the last month and a half or so. I think they're kind of just playing with their food. But I do expect Christopher Sanchez to pitch well. I think there's a lot of talent there, especially from the left-handed side. So, and he has pretty decent history against Atlanta as well. So I'll take my chances that there's not a lot of runs in this first 5.
You're not worried about Sanchez coming off a complete game?
No.
Commish, he's not seeing it. He's not seeing it clearly.
I'm seeing it very clearly. The Braves freaking suck.
Commish, you're with me, right? Brave spot.
I can't believe I'm hearing this from Toast. He's been such a brave supporter the last 2 years.
He's got a love-hate relationship. He's in an abuse.
I was on them a lot when you were in your little.
Toast is in an abusive relationship with the Braves.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read this game. I'll be honest. I was on the Phillies team total last night, and I was gutted. I can't believe, because I thought they were going to win that game. I thought they were going to need 4 runs to win that game, so I figured I might as well take the team total, and they won 3-2. So made me a little bit sick. I worry about Sanchez coming off a complete game. That's always a red flag in my mind. He threw 1 complete game earlier this year, came back, and again, it's a small sample size, but came back and gave up 7 runs against the Cubs in that next start. Even if you don't believe 100% in the home and away splits, he's gotten hit pretty hard on the road a few times this year. I don't know, man. I think Philadelphia is just the better team. I think psychologically there's something about the Phillies in these Braves matchups with they're superior. It's hard to quantify. I'm a numbers guy, but it just feels like every time these two teams play, it's the Braves who are the underdog. No matter what the odds are, no matter what the pitching matchup is, no matter what the bullpens look like. The Phillies are the better team in these matchups, and I think, like, my mistake, I should have just committed to playing the Phillies 3 games in a row in this series. Even with Sanchez coming off a complete game, I think I'm a little bit hesitant to fade them here. So I have nothing. My mind is I'm in a pretzel with this game.
I am not in a pretzel. Braves up. Let's do it.
Okay.
Brave spot. Braves money line. Next game. Braves. Astros on the road in Baltimore. CLV at it again. I got plus 142.
What's the number now?
Plus 130.
What did I get? Oh yeah, I got the same thing. Okay.
So yeah, pretty simple here.
You got to explain it, because there's a lot of people that think that we just blindly fade Corbin Burns whenever he pitches. I get more messages about Corbin Burns. I swear to God, I don't understand it. This dude sucks.
Baltimore fans, he doesn't suck.
I'm just saying, this dude is terrible.
He doesn't suck.
I mean, when's the last time you saw Corbin Burns pitch well? I'll wait.
Dude, I don't know. He's having a good season, though. Hold on. Okay, so our reasoning for the bets are completely different. I'm not blindly fading Corbin Burns. I'm fading the price. Like I said, I got plus 142. Bro, Baltimore's not playing well. They're a 500 team. In the last 2 months, they're not playing that well. Houston is
they're not
playing.
even a 500 team the last month. They're well below 500 team, just for the record.
Grimace knocked them down. Grimace knocked them under. So yeah, it's not a blind fade of Corbin Burns at all. I don't know what he's talking about. Corbin Burns sucks. I think Corbin Burns is good. I like Corbin Burns. It's a blind fade of the price. I mean, when I was looking yesterday, the Orioles were like minus 168. What? How? They're a below 500 team recently for a while now, and Houston's winning baseball games left and right. They lost a couple to Boston, another red hot lineup. Arrigetti's been pretty good. Baltimore's just not hitting. So it's not that like fading Corbin Burns or the Orioles suck. It's just Astros at plus 140. That price is off because the Astros are playing much better than Baltimore is, plain and simple.
Okay, so let's get into this. Kyle said it for me. We continue to get Baltimore priced as if they are playing some very good baseball. They are not a 500 baseball team. They're not playing like a 500 baseball team. They're 4-6 their last 10. They're 10-10 their last 20. They are 14-16 their last 30. Again, they are not a 500 baseball team. They should not be priced like it. Now I can hear them now. What about Corbin Burns? Well, let me tell you, let's just go through Corbin Burns' last few starts, and let's just see how good Corbin Burns has been. Or is Corbin Burns just getting really freaking lucky that every time that he pitches, Baltimore scores 10 runs? Because Baltimore, he just gave up 8. He just gave up 8 runs, and they lost that game 10-12. The previous start before that to the Rays, he gives up 3. Lucky for him, Baltimore scores 7. Against Cleveland, he gives up 4. Baltimore scores 9. Like, I can keep on going back. I mean, they scored 9 against Texas. They scored 7 against Miami. They scored 6 against Toronto. Dude sucks. He gets aided by a whole bunch of runs. I think Spencer Arrigetti is truly pitching better than him over the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks or month, whatever you want to do. I mean, Arrigetti, but take out the start against the White Sox, on the road at Boston, the Rays, the Dodgers, on the road at Oakland, Texas, on the road at Minnesota. I truly believe in my heart that Spencer Arrigetti is pitching better than Corbin Burns right now. Oh, and by the way, Corbin Burns, I hear he calls the Astros them all by daddy because over his last 12 and a half innings, it's been 13 hits. It's been 9 runs. Corbin Burns has been absolutely throttled by the bad guys. Bad guys win. I'm done.
Wow.
Did Corbin Burns bang your wife or something? My favorite.
Yeah, it's someone said Corbin Burns bang your wife. So yeah, I'm also on the Astros, but for much different reasons. I don't have anything. I don't have any hatred towards Corbin Burns.
I just don't understand the infatuation with this dude. Like,
bro,
it
I mean,
blows my mind.
He's a top 5 or 6 pitcher in the AL. Name five.
I'm glad that you split it into the AL. Yeah.
Okay, he's the top 4 pitcher in the AL. Name Scoople, Kirby. Who's better than Corbin Burns?
I think Burns would probably be the third.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's definitely pretty good.
Rotation, he'd be third.
In what rotation? The Mariners?
In the Mariners rotation.
And what's he? I'm sorry.
Seattle.
What, you think he'd be behind Gilbert and Kirby?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Gilbert's still a little bit unproven. Maybe.
I think from a seniority perspective, they would definitely list Burns ahead. But I think from a talent perspective, I think he would just be third on that team.
Wow.
I would take Scooble over him. I'd take Framber over him. I'd take Gilbert over him. I'd take Bryce Miller over him.
Bryce Miller over Corbin Burns? No.
Dude, Bryce, are you?
That's where I draw the
me?
line. That no. Commish.
Especially considering you're going to be paying Corbin Burns out the ass, and you would get yeah.
Well, no, but you can't factor price into a conversation about just talent.
I'm still there with the talent at Bryce Miller's age, 100%.
But you can't even factor in age. Like, it's just today. Like, if you had one start today, are you taking Corbin Burns? Are you taking Bryce Miller?
Bryce Miller next.
Oh my God.
Look,
that is nuts.
Look at their numbers and tell me how much different they are, please. I would love to. We can do this if we want.
No,
it's cool.
You make it hard to defend you because sometimes you go over the deep end. But
again, if we want to do this, we can do this on our we can go over this on our podcast too. Like, I'm not sitting here worried about it. Like, I'm okay with my opinion.
Before the season, we both talked about how we felt like Corbin Burns was significantly overrated. Took a little bit into the season, I think, for us to see his true self. But you look at since the All-Star break, 5.40 ERA, 4.36 FIP. So the advanced numbers support the fact that he struggled. His K rate is about league average. He's walking more guys than the league average. He's not throwing a lot of strikes. He's giving up a fair amount of hard contact.
I mean, the only thing that Corbin Burns has better than Bryce Miller really is the ERA. Miller's got a better whip. opponents are hitting worse against Bryce Miller. I mean, again, let's just move on because I don't really need to worry about Corbin.
Last note,
time on
Orioles
my airwaves.
bullpen super tax. They used Sir Anthony 3 the last 4 days, Cano's gone 3 the last 5, Sinel Perez back-to-back days, Kimbrel back-to-back days, Selby through 27 and 22, so he's probably unavailable today or at minimum would be super taxed. I don't know what Brandon Hyde's doing with the bullpen there, but he's running those guys into the ground.
He's clueless. They traded for the Phillies' failed bullpen. They're clueless.
But this is my issue. You can't use Sir Anthony Dominguez 3 times in 4 days. We know you can't use Craig Kimbrel back-to-back days. These guys could be assets for you if you use them in a more responsible way. It's not Emmanuel Clase. It's not Hunter Gaddis. You don't have the Cleveland bullpen where these guys are robots and can go out every day and produce. You know what Sir Anthony looks like on short rest or in fatigue situations. You know Craig Kimbrel last year, second half of the season, his ERA was over 9 on no days rest. Gives up another run yesterday. Like it's mind-blowingly basic shit.
Oh no, trust me, dude. I'm already there. We can go to the next game.
Commish, did you say Houston team total over or money line?
I think I would rather have Houston's team total.
And you can get that at 3.5 by the Houston team total of 3.5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With the tax bullpen, and I don't even know who's closing the game because Cano's too scared to do that.
Kimbrel back-to-back days. Not that they would do that, but Kimbrel back-to-back days. Perez 3 the last 4.
I don't know if they don't. I don't know.
Let's talk Grimace.
You didn't bet them, did you?
No.
Okay, I was like, what? This has revenge written all over it.
I mean, this spot is terrible. Obviously, you guys know, been a Mets fan my whole life. That being said, definitely faded them a lot this year. This is a terrible spot for the New York Mets. I mean, you just get off that series in Baltimore, 2 walk-off wins in it, immediately fly across the country from New York to San Diego to immediately try to hit off Dylan Cease. Look, not to mention Severino's been trending in the wrong direction. As soon as this game got mentioned in the voice handicapping session last night, someone mentioned there was a -146 available, and I took it. I still like the Padres at -160. This is just terrible spot for the Mets. I'm down to fade the Padres and take the Mets in this series, but not here. So yeah, I bet the Padres pretty heavy in this one. I took it at -146. Just a terrible spot for the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to keep on jumping in front of you, Commish. We just me and Sauce happen to have a lot of the same bets today, and that doesn't really happen all the time. So, no. But yeah, I love the spot for Dylan Cease coming off of 3 road starts. He's been really, really good at home. Last couple starts at home, 6 innings, 1 run, 11 strikeouts against Atlanta, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run against the Dodgers as well. And like I said, a little bit of a revenge factor as well. If you guys remember, Dylan Cease flew into New York in the peak of Grimace and got grimaced out the ass. 3 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs. It was pretty damn bad for Mr. Dylan Cease. But since then, he's actually pitched extremely well. So I think that Dylan Cease pitches well here tonight. Not to mention the fact that Padres in the best bullpen in Major League Baseball have everybody rested and available, ready to go tonight. And Sauce already talked about the spot for the Mets. So yeah, I'm all in San Diego. I also played San Diego -1.5.
In Spanish, it means a whales. Commish.
I agree. I think it's a tough spot for the Mets. The Mets squeaked 2 out against Baltimore thanks to some really, again, mind-numbing bullpen decisions by the Orioles, a couple of walk-offs. The Mets, they're having a gritty season. I don't know how talented the Mets are. If you just really boil it down.
Whoa, too far. Whoa. No need to take it there. One of the most talented lineups in baseball.
But I'm with you. I think San Diego's got the better starter here. The bullpen is in a better spot, especially after you saw what Budo threw 28 yesterday, I think, for them. Diaz has thrown 2 of the last 3, so he'd be pitching 3 out of 4 if he went in today. And I really just don't like the rest of that unit. I don't think they're very reliable. I think San Diego's in a good spot here, even at the price.
Padres across the board. Now let's get to the community parlay. Has hit 2 of the last 3, by the way. The community is heating up. Let's play.
Do you guys get credit when the parlay hits or only
No.
shit when it loses?
Just when it loses, we get
Matter of fact, yeah,
yelled
we
at.
get no credit when it wins, only when it loses.
Yeah, when it loses, it's our fault, even though we don't vote in it. So yeah, community parlays, play the song.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay. Yeah.
So the community is heating up. That's you guys. It's not us. Let's see if they can make it 3 out of 4 community parlays. So only 10 options to choose from, obviously. It's a little bit of a lighter slate. So let's see what we got. All right, community. First game. They love the Brewers. That's right. That's why Toast was taking the Cardinals, because everyone voted Brewers. Did the Astros or Orioles win that poll? Astros won it. Rockies, Nats. Nationals won that. Guardians, Yankees. All right, cast your votes. We'll do just the one, just first place. While they're voting, Commish, do you want to tell the fine folks where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, so I have my Substack. I do a free article for Roto Grinders pretty much every single day. We'll be heating up a lot more with NFL season as well. I had a nice year last year with them. And then I'm over in Prop Bombs Discord as well.
Cool. That's his Twitter handle right beneath his face there. I also tagged him in the tweet. So if you follow me, you can find him just right in the tweet there.
Appreciate you guys.
For sure, man. Appreciate you coming on. All right, cast your votes. Oh,
Also, sorry, Klaus, my bad.
No, I was just letting everyone know we're talking Dallas Cowboy football later. 4 p.m. We'll be back doing Cowboys. Then we're talking some Big Ten. After how many Big Tens teams do we have? 6. So we got the Cowboys and then 6 Big Ten teams to do at 4 p.m. For those of you that want to come back and talk some football, it'll be me, Andy, Prop Beaver. Can't remember if I have another guest coming on today. I'll have to check.
Ooh, okay.
So it's the Yankees. Community wants the Yankees back in. And
Is Andy in the office today?
Yeah, he's sitting right next to me.
Ask him if he's excited for all the non-conference schedules dropping today for college basketball. Would you ask him for me?
I'm not going to ask him that. He wants to know if you're excited for the non-cons to drop today. He goes, yeah, they've been dropping all day.
Well, I'm sorry. It's 7:30 in the morning for me, Andy. Relax.
He says, sorry, it's 7:30 in the morning for me, Andy. And for Andy, that's old news.
I know, my bad.
Rays, A's. Who did they vote for that? They voted for the A's. Reds, Pirates. Shit. Did they vote for Skeens?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not even being a joke. I'm pretty sure.
All right. It was close. It was split. I'll put Skeens up there. Cast your votes. What's the second leg? Community looking to make it 3 out of 4. Someone goes, I love pigskin. Love pigskin.
Big trade in the NFL today, I saw. Just kidding. Jahan Dotson. Not going to move the needle, probably.
Dotson.
I'll tell you, that's a halfway decent depth piece for Philly, though. A lot better than a wide receiver, too, for a different team.
Isn't that the Penn State kid or whatever?
Yeah.
This one's really close, so I'm going to give it 5 more seconds and then end it. Wow. All 4 of these legs are getting equal votes right now. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End poll. The winner is Oakland. Holy shit, community. They love Beto.
Oh, cool.
Cool. All right. Did they vote the Braves? Yes, they did. They agreed with me that it's a Braves spot. Braves money line, and then Padres money line, and then we'll do the 2 second place finishers, which is Blue Jays. And who else got second? The Brewers. All right, so first and second place from this poll are getting in. First and second place. Someone says, I love the early shows. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you watching. Down the hopefully we'll have 2 daily shows, Sauce in the morning, Sauce in the afternoon. Hopefully maybe by the new year. Problem is I can't consistently do 2 shows a day. I will literally collapse. So we'd have to get the fill it out, fill into places. Maybe prop Beaver, dust off the cleats.
I think me and Andy could do a college basketball show, just me and him.
Yeah, probably. Well, the question is, do we want to do the college basketball show in the morning, or because originally I had planned on doing 4 p.m. college basketball first, NBA second.
Touche.
But we could do 2 separate shows. All right. Well, this one's easy. It's Padres and Braves by a mile. All right. So it's Yankees money line, Athletics money line, Padres money line, Braves.
907 on the MGM.
Wow. Community's feeling confident going for a 907.
No plus 400s anymore, baby.
Yeah. So the community parlay is set. Yankees money line, Oakland money line, Padres money line, Braves money line plus 907. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I didn't add any bets, so the 5 I posted on the website last night are all that I'm doing. If you're submitting, there's a lot of people in play for the league. A lot of people still in playoff contention. If you're in the league this week, make sure you get your picks in. I'm cutting it off in an hour. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. See you at 4 p.m. For those of you that want to come back and talk football. For those of you that are just here for the baseball, see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's Friday night, so we're loaded up. Everyone, have a good day. Bet responsibly.
Have a good
See
night,
you guys.